Hello everyone and welcome to the Yarny Goodness podcast. My name is Pam and we've got some stuff to talk about today. So I know it was the beginning of February was the last time that I podcast, and that was beginning of February, right at the end of January. I know I podcast right before I went to Michigan, and I was in Michigan the first weekend of February for my grandfather's 95th birthday, and I haven't been back on here because sadly he passed away on the 22nd. And even though I knew I needed to get on here and talk to you guys, I couldn't do it. So, yeah. So that's where I'm at. So that was not this past Wednesday, the weekend before last. So, sorry, the trash man is outside. It is a cold, not cold, it's like 50 outside, but it's rainy. So today I have me some coffee in my mug. I also have my Diet Coke right here and I'd rather be knitting because that statement is always true. My husband calls me from work and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "What do you think I'm doing?" If I'm sitting, I'm knitting, is what I tell him all the time. So I have a couple of finished objects. I have some works in progress, and I have some that you've never seen. I have finished objects that you guys have never seen. So there's that. So let's just go ahead and get into things. We're going to start with finished objects, and first we're going to start with, I've replaced my sleeves that I felted. If you remember a couple of episodes back, I had some sleeves and they felted. So these I did make out of my Knit Crate yarn. I don't know why I was saving it all up, and now they're out of business and I can't get any more, so I'm going to use it now. I don't know. The mentality, who cares? Who knows? So I made it out of these two. This one is the Vidaliana Dusk, and it's in Midnight. It is 60% Himalayan alpaca and 40% Surrey alpaca. And the bottom, this one, is the Aldine Woods flannel. And its colorway is slate. Where's my camera? There it is, slate. And it is Surrey alpaca, alpaca wool, non-superwash merino wool. So that's those. So I made it out of the two of those. And like, if you look here, this looks like a bluey black gray, which is a fairly, I mean, it's that's a little bit better, you know, than the up front. But this darker is more of what it actually looks like with the black. Now, when I wear it outside and the sun is shining, the Midnight one, this one, has this like green teal look to it. So, but it's doing really good. I have worn it every day inside my house, and I mean, I got a little bit of pilling right there, but it's not too desperately bad. And it just like pulls right off. But what I did was I cast on 40. I did a 1x1 rib with knitting in the back loop. I'm gonna go ahead and sit back. But yeah, knit in the back loop for, I forget, I wrote it down. I forget how many rows. I want to say it was 33 rows. Then I increased in every purl row So I went from 40 to 60, and I knit the 60 in a, I don't know if you can see it. It's a three by 1. So 3 knits and 1 purl all the way around. I did that for, it was 35 from there to my elbow, 55 from my elbow to the split is what I think it was. I'm trying to remember my notes. I didn't bring them with me. But anyways, I knit to the appropriate length that I wanted. Then I split and I knit flat from here to here for 27 rows. I did add on 2 stitches on both sides of the when I started knitting flat. So I increased 2 on the front, 2 on the back, so that I could do a little like seed. I wanted there to be a little piece there to help it lay flatter. That was one thing I didn't like about the first one, the one that felted, is it rolled really bad. And this one is not doing that. So, and then went down the other side again and decreasing my 2. I decreased 1 per row. So I did 1 row where I decreased 1 on one side, decreased 1 on the other side, turned it, and then decreased it again, or knit flat, knit straight, and then on the next row, I hope that all made sense, decreased again, and then went all the way down. Again, to the stitches, the rows that I needed. In the 3 by 1 rib, it's like you can't really tell. You can't really see it very good. I guess you can. It's very squishy. The squish factor is wonderful. And then did this and bound off in Jenny's amazingly stretchy bind off, whatever that, you know what that is. So that's what I did there. That was that, and I'm very happy with it. The only thing is it stretched out some. So when I blocked it, it stretched out some. So I did take and I closed the hole up here about 1 inch underneath each underarm. I just whipped it closed, so you really can't, see it. Not like anybody, not like I'm doing this and showing people, except for the whole world. But, you know, when I'm wearing it, you can't see it. But I did close that up a little bit. And then it was still kind of loose. And it still is a little loose right now. But I did, I was doing laundry yesterday. And so I would throw it in with whatever was in the dryer for like 10, 15 minutes. And then I pull it out and I let it cool off. And then I throw it in with the next load for like 10 to 15 minutes. So it shrunk up just a tiny bit. I might do it again to get it just a little bit tighter. But yeah, because I want it to be about right there, so that I can fold it if I want to, and it's like the perfect length, or I can, you know, leave it down like that. So that's one. I should have worn a different shirt instead of advertising Amazon. Oh goodness. Oh well, I'll get it together one of these days. Maybe. So another finished, we'll go with this, another finished object. Where's the, oh there it is. I bought off of, I found this on Amazon. It's Premier Yarns. It's a cotton, I think I showed it as an acquisition. I've had it for a long time. And I was going to have this be like my sitting in bed, going to bed, got to knit a few rows before I go to bed kind of thing. So I had cast on just it's a washcloth. I still need to sew in my ends, but yeah. It's just a garter stitch, dish rag. I just came off of the needles last night, so I haven't done anything else with it. So But I love using knit washcloths or to wash my dishes. And the garter, like it gives it a little bit of extra oomph in scrubbing your pots and hands. And I haven't had any issues with mine falling. This is the first time I'm using this yarn, but I haven't ever had any issues. I was looking to see if there's anything inside telling me it's a cotton. But then I cast on this one, which is, it's a Purl Soho. And I don't know the name of it. It's one of Purl Soho's free patterns. I think it was corner to corner actually, because I know I started in the corner and then I increased. It's a free pattern on Purl Soho. Again, it's another garter stitch. So you're knitting every row, you're increasing in the first stitch and knitting all the way across, and then you'll be decreasing. So it's not like, I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just some mindless knitting. So, but I think, and it's living in this Sweet Comfort Designs bag that I got from Etsy. So there's that. But I think this is going to go live in the car because I don't have any knitting in the car. And I don't have a big purse to like shove, you know, when I'm walking out the door to shove something in. So I need to have something that stays in the car. So I think that's going to be what stays in the car. I don't know. Have any of you used knit washcloths? Have you tried them? When I learned to knit, that's what I worked on. So when I was learning how to knit, I wanted to, you know what, hold on. Okay, back. And I'm not going to edit any of that out. I don't think I'm going to have the brain power to be able to edit today, so you're probably not going to get any editing. What it is what it is. So when I was learning how to knit, I had figured out how to knit and I had figured out how to do the purl, and I wanted to get my tension straight and I wanted to figure that out. So this was the first thing that I ever did. And oh my goodness, I mean, there's this big old hole here. But I was working on getting my tension and everything right. So I did a bunch of knit rows. I did some purl rows in there. Just getting my tension straight and figuring out what I'm doing before I worked on anything that people were going to see. I mean, this is just something that's going to stay in my dish drawer. Nobody would even know about it if I wouldn't show you, because I use it to wash dishes, but that's it. So I did that one. Then there's this one. See, it's used. Goodness, it's used on that side too. Oh, but yeah, I mean, you can tell they're well loved. But look at my stitches there are magnificent. Look at that. This one isn't a seed stitch, so, you know, purling, and I think it's seed stitch. It was purling. You did a purl on top of a knit and went back and forth. I think that's called the seed stitch. If not, let me know below. But I'm pretty sure that's a seed stitch. So there's that. Ooh, this one I got ambitious and I put a little hangy deal. I don't know why, because I don't hang them on anything. But whatever. So, but it's just another garter stitch one. And another seed stitch. So those are the ones that I've got so far. And I got my knitting tension down and I knew what I was doing. That way I wasn't making mistakes in big projects. I figured out how to fix things on those little throwaways. I mean, I had the cotton yarn in my stash. It had been given to me. I had been gifted like 8 of the huge trash bags full of acrylic yarn, and in there were 5 or 6, maybe even more, of the cones, the peaches and cream cones of cotton yarn. So I mean, I had a ton of it, and it was given to me. If it was trash, it was trash. If not, you know, fine. So that's the way I felt about it. So that's that. Finished object. Then, so I had told you about my trip to Michigan, that we went up there for my grandfather's birthday. I had told you in the last podcast about how my grandson wanted some socks and that I was going to use this Premier Yarns, and this is discontinued, but this was also in all that free yarn that I got. But this is discontinued, which really upsets me because I really liked this colorway and I loved the way that it turned out in my socks. But I held it with the flannel, the Knit Crate flannel and slate. I held these two together, and I cast on just a regular old sock. I didn't follow really a pattern. I wanted to try toe up, so I started with the toe up. I did the whatever cast on it is for toe up, whatever. So I cast on like 8 stitches on each needle and increased till I got to I want to say 16, but I was doing it because I was holding the two together. I did it on a 5mm. So, and then after I got my increase up to my 16, I did a, I'm really liking, this is 2x. Nope, this one's, I'm liking the 3x3 rib. But look at how fabulous that looks. I love how they're like a black sock with just the little pops of color throughout. And they're really showing up really good on the video. They're not that bright and vibrant in real life, but I'm loving both of them. Both of them. So I did this sock in a car. And I got all the way almost to like finished. No, in the car, I'm trying to remember, this was a couple of weeks ago and a lot has happened since then. I got to like around in here in the car. And then before I saw my grandson, I just done the heel, flap, and turn and started a little bit up. And then he came over and he tried it on. They're too big. They were like this much too big. And he's like, so Momo, what are you gonna do? You gonna take them out? And I'm like, no. I will have a matching pair of socks as you. So I just did a little bit here, made him a little bit of a shorty sock. I actually could have done him a lot shorter than this, but I didn't, because I was gonna make myself a full pair of socks. And I was like, oh wait, I gotta make him a pair of socks out of this too, so I can't do that. So I went ahead and I bound off with Jenny's. Can't be Jenny's because that's not very stretchy. I think I just bound off a regular loop over bind off. I can't tell what I did there, but it doesn't look like a stretchy bind off. So I think I just did a regular bind off, and I just did like 5 rows, and I did switch it to 1x1 up here. So it's like right here, all that red right there. That's just the cuff. And then the bind off. Don't look at my nail. So, but then I was like, so I've got to knit another pair for him. So I finished that pair, and then while we were still up there, I cast on the next pair, and ta-da! But I wanted to try, excuse me, how I feel about the, I've made mention about how I don't like feeling those bumps on my foot when I'm walking. They're very uncomfortable to like the ball of my foot. So for Brett's socks, I purled on the outside so that the knit stitches, or I purled the back side of the sock so that on the inside the knit stitches are there. So I turned it inside out, so there's all the knit stitches. So that it's a flatter piece, you can't feel all those ridges. So I've been waiting to send them up there until I have done this podcast. So they'll be going out in the mail soon. But he has a pair of socks. And I'm so excited because I did them so good. They are exactly the same. Yay, Momo. But I hope you love them. Because I know sometimes he watches with my daughter, so I hope you love them. All right. So I am going to make another one of these for me, just to wear around the house. I do have the yarn. So I will be making another pair of these. I might take that out and fix it. I don't know. I haven't decided. But to keep going with my sock mojo, I made this yesterday. So I cast on the toe, third toe up, and I did the exact same 3x1 rib. These I did go up to 18 stitches before I started working flat. I did do the purling on the sole so that the knits are on the inside. And then I put that heel flap on the heel. And I'm hoping that I didn't mess up with doing that I feel all of the bumps. Hopefully those will felt up pretty quickly and I won't feel it. I didn't think about that when I decided to put, because I was watching, it was a YouTube. If I remember, I'll try to post a link or at least the name of the podcast down below that I watched. And she was talking about how heels are the first ones to wear out, and it's usually not the back of the heel, it's usually the bottom of the heel. And so she always puts like that partridge, the slips and the knits on the back, or on the bottom of the heel, so that gives it a little bit more cushion. So that's why I did that. And then did the heel turn and the gusset, and then just stopped right after I was finished with the gusset, knit a couple of rows, and bound off. Now I know I did that in Jenny's, but it's really not stretchy. But it does fit. That's all I care about. It does fit over my foot, so I do need to, and here it is. I cast on the second one. I got this, I'm pretty sure the name of it was Unicorn, and it was from Knit Picks. I ordered it when I ordered these. So yeah, my Knit Picks. So that was from Knit Picks. That was like the first yarn that I bought. Then I got into the Knit Crate. But there's that. And it's purple and yellow and white. And then I held it with that purple, which is Vitalana Celestial, and Demos, which is 90% alpaca and 10% tinsel. My nose is really, really itching. I can't get this to focus. Focus. There we go, maybe. I'm getting hot. I'm having hot flashes. This has got to come off. Whew. So, but I did cast on the second one. And I'm doing it the exact same way. The 3x1 rib, the pearls on the back, on the sole. So hopefully I'll be done with that this weekend. I am planning on another pair of socks. This is Daffodil. And it's the same as I made, the same type of yarn as my mittens, my green and white mittens. I don't have a tag for that anymore, but I know it's Daffodil. But I don't remember any of the other stuff about it. You can look back, but it's like a chain. So I'm going to hold the two of those together to make a pair of socks. I don't know, I'm really loving the, I hated knitting socks. They took forever to make. But holding the two yarns together and making it a little bit of a looser is really working. I mean, not looser, but because it's bigger needles, it works out faster. So I also, And this is just like a whips finished objects all running in together because I think that's all of my finished. Oh, no, one more. So this is a headband, an ear warmer that I made. It does match my mittens. I didn't bring my mittens out, but it does match my mittens. But it's in almost like a, that Colorado chick design. It's a lot of that. I mean, it lost a lot of, when I blocked it out, it lost a lot of its dimension because you could really see that in there were columns. It was like the ribbing, but it lost a lot of that. So it's still cute. It'll still match my mittens if I ever wear any of it because now it's hot. Not hot, but it's not mittens and it's not headband weather. So there's that. So that is the last of my finished objects. Yeah. But I do have plans for another pair of socks. So I bought this at Michael's, the Patons Kroy. And it is in the gray-brown marl colorway. And I'm going to hold it with the, what did I say this was? Midnight from Knit Picks. For the little bit of fuzz and comfy. Anyways, time to take a drink. And the coffee probably isn't helping with me being hot. I mean, it's not really that hot anymore. So this has not gotten much love in the past month. Maybe a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm pretty sure this is my last one of these. And I forget, Sahara. I don't have the ball band for it anymore. I've talked about it in every podcast since the beginning of the year. It is my half and half shawl. I guess it has. I've put some on it. I think I was at least way back here at the end of my second skein. This would have been my third. I'm not thinking, I don't know. I've got to go. All of those. Ooh, you can't even see. All of these. And I only have one skein left. And I can't get any more. I don't know what's wrong here. It was just a large stitch. Looks terrible. So I think that's why I was like, oh, I'm not happy. I might not have enough. Because I mean, I've got, it's probably 50. I probably have close to 100 stitches there that still need, because I'm pretty sure that between those markers is 50. So from the beginning of the round to that yellow marker is 50, and then I want to say from the yellow to that pink one is 50, and then there's a few random here. So I still have over 100 rows to go with yarn. I just attached my fourth one. And I mean, the rows are getting shorter. The rows are getting shorter because I mean, they were almost 200 stitches long. And I mean, now they're a little over 100. So I don't know. This might get some love here soon. This is just one I'm not going to be wearing anytime soon, but, and then I don't know if I want to, on the other half, because I know I've shown it. I'm digging stuff out of my bag here. I know I've shown it. I don't know if I want to, because I have a lot of both of these colors. So the blue is Cinderella and the green is Conservatory. So I do have enough of both of these colors. That's not going to be an issue. But I think I might want to do like half in one color, because I was talking about doing stripes, and I don't think I want to do stripes. I think I want to do like a color black, to where the one side is all brown, and I've got another brown that I can put with this. It'll just be at the end if I have to, so that's not going to be an issue. But I think maybe I might do like a color black, where the other half is half of it blue and half of it green. Or when I finish the brown, I might be so tired of it that I bind it off and I have a triangle. There's always that. Because I mean, I was never like in love, gotta have kind of thing. It was just one of those, oh, that's cute, I like it, let me cast it on. It'll be, you know, a project that'll take a long time that I can just have sitting around waiting, and it's easy because it's just knits. But yeah, I'm tired. But on a happier note, Chase's Cardi is closer to being done. So I think the last time I was like way back, I might have just I think I was getting ready to separate for the sleeves. So since you last saw it, I have done this. That's the end. This is the inside. I'm looking at the outside. Since you've last seen it, since you were gone. Anyways, I have separated for sleeves. Did the decreases for the neckline. And you're not going to get a good view of it because it's all up on needles, but it's huge. I didn't realize how huge it was when it's all balled up sitting on your lap. You don't realize this, but it's huge. It falls below his bottom. So I mean, I did go back and do a little bit of surgery, and it was really long, and I shortened it about that much. So it still hits right around the bottom of his bottom. But I have the front right done, the back done, and I'm almost done with the front panel. I have 2, 3, 4. I have like 8 more rows, 1 more decrease, because I just did a decrease. I have 1 more decrease to do, and then that's done. Then, so this is the Douglas Cardi by Andrea Mowry that I'm using for the pattern. After that, I have to attach the back panels to the front panels. And after I do that, then I have to seam these up here because it's like a drop shoulder cardigan. So I have to seam these stitches up on both sides. Then I think I'm going to take a break. And I'm going to do those afterthought pockets right here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pick those up and get those done. And I haven't told Chase this yet, I might, so you pick up on the outside and you do some ribbing on the bottom stitches, some ribbing, and attach it on either side of the pocket. And then on the top stitches, I have to stop and think, on the top stitches you're going to knit the inside of the pocket that goes down this way. I'm going to talk about this part because it's, you know, you can Google afterthought pockets, you're going to figure it out. So, but the Douglas Cardi is a paid pattern, so I can't do a lot of talking about it. The pocket I can't though. And then you knit down. I think I'm going to do like a funny color. I'll pop a color for the inside of that pocket. He's home. Shh. I think I said his name too many times. So, but anyways, I am using the Caron 1 pound, and it is in medium gray. So that is one. I have been plugging along on that since September. And I can't wait to get that beast done. So my sleeves, I busted those out in like a week. I was like to here on the first sleeve on that Wednesday that my grandpa passed away and I left work. And then I just came home and I just knit. I finished them all up in like 3 days. That was the only thing I worked on. It just made me feel like a big old hug and I wanted it. So, Sunday, I had some yarn in my stash. Don't have a ball of the gray with me, but it's the Charisma. And I have loved the Sierra pullover that is a free pattern on Lion Brand. If I was editing, I'd put a picture here, but I'm not editing, so you don't get a picture. Please look it up yourself. I have loved it since I started knitting. It's been in my Ravelry page. It's been a pattern in my library since then. I didn't know how to do anything in there, but I loved it and I wanted it. It is, it's like a crew neck collar, round yoke, but it stops like right here and it does ribbing, and it's like the Doman sleeves where it's like all connected, and it's like a crop, and I'm not a crop girl. No bueno, never been a crop girl. So I knew I was gonna have to do some modifications on it. I did have, it calls for chunky yarn, which I did, it is chunky yarn that I used. Like I said, I used, so this one, the color was Mist, and it's a light gray. That light gray right there. And then I used this green, which color is Forest. And then I used this purple. And Purple Heather. That's the name of this one. And then I used, this is also, it says it's chunky. It doesn't look chunky, but I can't feel a difference in the thing. So, but it doesn't look as heavy as the other stuff. But it's Loops and Threads Impressions. And this is Rose. And this reminds me almost of a spin cycle yarn, to where it like changes the color, and it's like that barber pole. It gives me a lot of the spin cycle vibes. I had bought 2 of these, so I have that one. I have the one I was using. So I cast that on, and I get to, and I'm hoping, I mean, I put it on, it does fit when I put it on, you know, and so hopefully once I block it, it blocks out better than this. But you see, there's a lot there, and I added on these. It was supposed to go straight from this into like the sleeve, and I'm like, no bueno. So that's it. It is gorgeous. So let me come forward here. We have got, this is the Mist. This is the Forest. This right here is the start of that Rose. And so it goes from there all the way down to here, this pink. That is all the same skein. And all I did was I changed out, like this is the Purple Heather there. And again with the Forest. And then this is the gray and the forest together. And I love the way that that turned, like I used other colors in there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I have used 2 skeins of the gray to get to there. Now I'm going to hold it up. This is the first time I'm doing this. And it's supposed to have a long ribbing on it, so I think I'm going to put these on longer cords and try it on later. Let me stop dropping stitches. Excuse me. So, yeah. And I'm knitting on, it calls for 9, US 9s, and this is a US 9. I think I'm doing it on the right ones. I'll tell you in a second when I sit back down. But I think I'm going to go ahead and start, if I'm where I want to be when I actually put it on, I'm going to put on the ribbing. Yeah. But I might, so there was supposed to be another section of color work, which I used that one all the way down to here and then was like, oh, I need to change colors. So, excuse me. So I went ahead and there was supposed to be another band of color work. Like if you look up the pattern, you'll see there's another band of color work underneath this one. So I might go ahead and do that one down here before I do the ribbing. But that's another thing that I've been working on this week. So, I think I talked about that. I talked about that. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. I talked about that. Whew. I think that's everything. And I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Yeah. I don't have anything else to talk about. Hopefully now that I've gotten this one out of the way, I'll be able to do them every week again. Who knows? My schedule had just gone back. I don't know. Stay tuned. If you liked any of the content that you've seen and you would like to see me again, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. It's free. Doesn't hurt you at all. Helps me tremendously. So, give me a comment down below if you liked anything that you saw. Helps me out. Anyways, until next time, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.